Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Sumaya AI Wali, a student at Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute Batch 21. Have you ever noticed that the world is changing and right under our feet? One day we are watching the news, and the next we are the ones making it with our phones. We aren't just sitting back anymore. We are participating in everything from how we buy things to how we start revolutions. Today I want to share a story about how power has totally changed. It's based on a famous TED Talk by Jeremy Heimans called New Power. Before we dive into a talk, let me tell you about the person who came up with these ideas. Jeremy Heimans is a really impressive guy who has spent his whole life building global movements. He's the co-founder of an organization called Purpose, which helps people everywhere join together to solve big problems. But Jeremy wasn't always a famous speaker. Even as a kid growing up in Australia, he was a little revolutionary. He tells a funny and charming story about trying to stop big global wars from his childhood bedrooms using an old fashioned fax machine. He would send faxes to world leaders, thinking he could change their minds all by himself. He realized back then that one person with one machine is okay, but a million people working together, that is unstoppable. That childhood lesson is what led him to create the new power framework we are talking about today. In his talk, Jeremy explains that for a long time, power was like money in a safe. He called this all power. Think of it like a currency. It was held by a few people at the top, like bosses, politicians, or banks. They guarded it carefully and didn't let anyone else in. It was a top-down world where we were told what to do, what to buy, and what to believe. You just had to sit, listen, and download their instructions. But today we have new power. Jeremy says this kind of power is more like a current of water or electricity. It only works when it is moving and when everyone is joining in. It's made by the many, not the few. Instead of waiting for a leader to tell us what to do, we are all uploading our own ideas, sharing videos, and starting our own campaigns. New power thrives on participation. If people stop engaging, the power disappears. It's open, it's fast, and it's everywhere. Jeremy gives us some really eye-opening examples of how this battle between old and new power looks in real life. He mentions a company we all know, Apple. Now, Apple makes very high-tech phones, but Jeremy says they actually use all power. Why? Because they are very secretive. They decide everything behind closed doors, like when they decide we didn't need headphone headphone jacks anymore, and then they just tell us to go buy it. We don't get to participate in their process. We just download their products. Then he looks at politics, using Barack Obama and Donald Trump as examples. He explains that Obama used new power to get elected by building a huge community of supporters online. But once he was in the White House, he mostly went back to all power ways of governing. On the other hand, Donald Trump used new power tools like social media memes and viral messages. to get a huge crowd of people to spread his message for him. Even if you didn't like his message, he could uh, you could see how he used the current of the crowd to bypass the old system. It shows us that the new power is very strong tool, but it can be used by anyone. In my opinion, the most important part of this talk is the warning. Jeremy gives us, he is very honest. New power isn't always good. It's like a hammer. You can use it to build a house, or you can use it to break something. It can be used by neighbors to save a local school from being torn down, which is a wonderful thing. But it can also be used by groups who want to spread hate or misinformation. New power is a tool, not a hero. But what I love most in his idea of a meme drop. In the old days, leaders gave us boring slogans to repeat. Now, smart leaders gives us an extensible idea. That's a fancy word for an idea we can change and make our own. They gives us the basic ingredients and we can cook the meal by adding our own creativity. Jeremy ends the talk with a story that really touches the heart. He shows a video of a white helmet in Syria. They're regular people, bakers, tailors, and students who run into buildings that have been bombed to save people trapped in the rubble. While everyone else is running away from the danger, they run toward it. He leaves us with the question that I want you to think about. How are you using your power to help the people who have the least? Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is Sumaya signing off.